After his promise to his grandpa, Theo went to look for Jenny. The main reason why Theo agreed to meet Jenny was Grandpa Gabriel had opened up to him and told him he might die any day and did not have long to live. Theo was touched by Grandpa's story and decided he will do his best to make his last days happy. Theo arrived at Jenny's school and asked for her. Jenny thought the young rich man had come to the wrong Jenny, but when he explained Grandpa's incident of how they met, Jenny remembered Grandpa Gabriel. Theo talked about his grandpa's dying wish, which he wanted to fulfill. Theo knew that this sounded crazy, so he added that he was prepared to pay her for playing this role. Jenny declined being paid, but agreed to help him. Well, she had nothing to lose and was bored most weekends. Hanging out with a handsome, rich young man was definitely going to be interesting. The first date between Jenny and Theo was filled with awkward quietness and polite smiles. The two were worlds apart and were failing to find common interests. As the weeks rolled by, these two mismatched souls began to discover a rhythm in their differences. Jenny taught Theo to appreciate the simple things in life, like watching birds, sitting and watching the sunset, listening to the crashing waves of the sea. She also taught Theo to cook. Theo was really enjoying some home-cooked meals at Jenny's house. None of the girls he dated knew how to cook. After food, they would take long walks and admire nature. Jenny listened to Theo practice his speeches and gave him constructive feedback. Jenny was becoming a very important person in Theo's life. He relied on her on a number of issues. She brought calm and peace in his life. A genuine friendship started to develop. During the times Theo was with Jenny, he had laughed more times than he had done his entire life. The awkwardness melted and the polite smiles transformed into genuine laughter. Theo was now so used to taking Jenny out every weekend. However, he had no love feelings for her but considered her a very good friend. After 5 months of going out with Jenny, Grandpa hosted an event to announce Theo as the new owner of the business. The event had some of the most powerful people in the country, and Jenny was also invited. She wore a beautiful body-hugging red evening dress that emphasized her curves. When she entered the room, even Theo's jaw dropped in shock. Jenny looked very beautiful. Theo had never seen Jane look so classy and pretty. Jane had let go of her usual modest look and transformed into a powerhouse and a captivating beauty. Even though Theo continued to entertain his guests, he could not help glancing at Jenny, who was laughing heartily with guests. Theo was feeling jealous. What made Theo more unsettled was that 3 of his friends were putting pressure on him to introduce them to Jenny so that they could possibly date her. His friends were really cool guys, with good jobs and good personalities. Why am I feeling jealousy? I have to introduce Jenny, Theo said to himself. After so much pressure, Theo introduced Jenny to his friends, and to his surprise, Jenny was excited and was having good conversations with Theo's friends. That really got him stressed up. After the party, when Theo got into bed, he kept thinking about how Jenny looked tonight, how she stimulated some feelings that he thought he never had for Jenny. Is this love that I am feeling, or am I just being jealous? Theo asked himself. Now Theo couldn't tell whether what he was feeling for Jenny was love or a strong friendship bond. The following day, Theo received a call that Jenny had been involved in a car accident. Theo's reaction was surprising. He just asked which hospital, and without paying attention to the rest of the information, he dropped everything, grabbed his keys, and drove as fast as he could. His heart was pounding. The fear of losing Jenny scared him to the bone. On the way to the hospital, Theo was crying and praying to God to save Jenny. When he got to the hospital, Jenny was out of danger but still sleeping. Theo knelt by Jenny's bedside, held her hand, and said, "Please be okay. I did not know how much I loved you until today." This incident made Theo realize that he actually loved Jenny, and that it was no longer just a routine, but real love. Then she stroked his hair, and she asked why he never told her he had fallen in love with her. Theo said it was a long story. All he knew was she was the one he loved. He knew he had a special connection with her that he never had with anyone before. Jenny pulled him so that she could hug him. She told him she felt the same way too. After Jenny got out of the hospital, Theo told Grandpa that he would marry Jenny at the end of the year. That was the best news Grandpa ever heard in a long time. His wish had come true, now he could die a happy man. However, seeing Theo get married actually made Grandpa recover. Grandpa lived to see his great-grandson. He lived to see Theo become a responsible, steady, and loving husband. He passed on 7 years later due to old age. He died a happy man. The moral of the story is, sometimes we find love in the least expected places and people. Love is not always about class beauty, glamour, and powerful careers. Love can just be about spending quality time with someone who adores you, who is head over heels in love with you, respects you, and makes you laugh. Follow, like, and share for more exciting stories.